A city based on industry, from market stalls to collieries, owners, directors and entrepreneurs. Oh, we've got all that and more. No matter how high you fly, no matter how far you go, the spotlight's on you and we call Wrexham home.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Wrexham Business Spotlight podcast. This is the podcast where each episode we meet a different Wrexham business and a different Wrexham business owner. I'm the host, my name's Adrian, and we're sponsored by AB Accountancy. This week I'm delighted to be joined by Gavin Belton-Rose. Gavin, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.
No problem.
Nice to see you.
And thanks for having me.
Just introduce a little bit about yourself. Tell people what they need to know about Gavin.
Well, in a nutshell, I'm 25-year sales and marketing
I thought
veteran.
you said you were 25 years old then.
I was hoping so. Well, mental age is around 25 years. I moved to Wrexham 18 years ago from Shrewsbury. Met my wife over in sunny Spain, Magaluf, and been living here ever since. This is my home. Started a business here a few years back. I had multiple pubs and bars across the country with a couple around here. And then the last few years, I started up momentum. So, like I say, I've been in sales and marketing for the last 25 years. And kind of thought, right, I'm going to go on my own and start giving my knowledge to other business owners in and around Wrexham area.
So tell us about the pub background. That's quite interesting.
So pubs. So I had two career paths when I was in my younger years. I started off into the motor trade. But when I turned 18, I got introduced into the pub trade. I was already in the pub trade, technically. Been drinking many years in various
other
pubs.
side of a bar.
Yeah, but this was more of a legal sense of working behind a bar. Quickly found a love for it. Moved to Cardiff for a 2-year management training course with Toby Carvery at the time, and didn't really stop really. You know, it's kind of carried on through Toby for a couple of years. Took on my first site in Birmingham. I think I was 20 years old at that point. And then I came out of it. I went into sales, furniture sales, car sales, moved to New Zealand for 6 months, carried on doing car sales over there, came home to sort my visas and bits and pieces out, and never went back. Met my wife and stayed here and settled down. So kind of did a full circle, fast forwarding, and then I started up my own pubco. So I think at one point, I had 14 pubs and bars from here down to Leicester, up to Lincoln, all over the shop. It was great, and I specialised in community pubs. You know, not mainstream high streets, community pubs, and really bringing the community together in them.
So presumably at that sort of scale, you've got management teams in them all, and you're sort of overseeing.
No,
the general running. No,
it was genuinely just me. I had managers in all of them, and we had staff at one point. I think it must have been about 120 staff across all sites. All the pubs were through various different breweries, so they all came with different headaches. They're all leased in different ways and
different contracts in them all.
Different different price points. So they all came with their own uniqueness. I won't call them headaches, but they are uniqueness, we'll call it, because it's, as you know, in hospitality, everything's very unique. But it was good. It was good fun. And I got rid of pretty much all the pubs then up from 2017, where I changed hats and I bought a franchise estate agency over in Chester.
Are you going to say you could see COVID happening 3 years earlier and thought pubs are going to struggle? Or?
Do you know what? If I could, honestly, if I put a pound on that. No, it was a time for me. I'd gone through some health issues, and when I was away from the business a lot, I couldn't respond to the managers, and I just thought, I'm not giving all I can. I couldn't travel, couldn't drive, so I thought, right, this is the best time is to start not winding them up, but kind of handing the pubs back to the breweries and saying that this was, and they were coming to the end of their terms, but it was a time where I had to rethink, what do I do next?
Yeah.
And where I came from there to where I am now is kind of like a journey of self-promotion, really going from being a business owner running pubs to actually taking on, an estate agency, and now taking on this. It's been a journey.
We do find a lot of the business owners we talk to have that sort of journey. They start doing something very specific, and it's sort of a path leads them along, and they end up finding a niche they run a business in. And
yeah, I think it's the networking style. I think I talk about it in my book in terms of my sales is very old school in terms of observation and learning what people do and how they react and understanding body language. I think one thing you learn in car sales is how to approach people. But because of my hospitality background, you see all walks of life all the time. And it kind of adds fuel to what I do within my business now and what I've done in the past. It's all kind of accumulated to where we are today in the momentum.
So loads of sales background, loads of sales experience, and now you're putting that into momentum. So just tell us a bit about momentum. What does that do? Who does that help?
So momentum sales and marketing. We are we call ourselves the high growth sales and marketing team, and we look at businesses for growth. Now it's everything from basics of impressions on social media all the way up to financial growth, and it's basically a lot of the times just pulling things back to its basic forms and understanding what is your strategy. Now, there's a lot of really good marketing agencies out there, but they're not salespeople. They're very marketing. And I talk about marketing as your fuel, sales as your engine. And you can't have one without the other. And very often you go into businesses and they're siloed. The two departments never talk to each other. So I talk about, again, in the book, and what I do in my business is the two should work together and bringing those KPIs together. And by having a sales-led focus and marketing support the sales, it really does make a big difference.
Okay. And what sort of, are you working in specific industries, or you got specific sort of ideal customers you work with?
Not really, no. It seems I started off with working with charities, professional services, grassroots, and it kind of expanded out to all sorts of different businesses. I mean, I was working with, crypto companies and financials providers, then there's charities, I've got furniture companies, there's various different elements, but fundamentally they all have one process, which is they overlook and they go, right, well, I need marketing. Well, what for? If you can't answer the reason what for, it's a sales approach, not a marketing approach. And trying to break down that barrier between which is what and pushing them on a sales direction. The strategy looks very different. And because the KPI becomes the same, it works. And that's fundamentally what I'm trying to push and trying to teach as well. I'd say educate business owners, because one of the biggest fundamentals is that people buy from people. And as a business owner, you may have 5 or 6 staff behind you and you let them run the business. But, you're a classic example of that. You lead by example. You're the face of your business. And as a business owner, you are an influencer.
It's worrying that I'm a face. Isn't
it is. I mean, we see each other working hard in the gym. It's different faces we see them. But the point being is that because you are the face of that business, you've got to lead by example. And your team see that as well. And they get influenced by that. And it could be a simple thing when you're out networking. You're not just doing it because it's your job. You're doing it because you're passionate about it, because your boss does it. And I want to be the influencer of myself. So people are going to buy from me. And I really try and, push that as much as possible. Because I do like the offline side of sales and marketing. It's brilliant. And,
the old fashioned stuff, knocking on doors, and
you can't beat it in terms of how they respond. I mean, networking now is taking a big U-turn again. When we came out of COVID, it was a massive rush of people came back out of COVID. They need to see people. We're in that same sort of cycle again, where we've seen a huge uplift in hashtag events that I'm ambassador for, and 45% increase on delegates, because AI is taking over in such a way that the conversations don't feel real anymore. So what they want to do is go out and see people, shake hands and get a business card, walk away, action it, and then they're actually having real conversations. And we're seeing that now in this cycle. And over the next 6 months, we're predicting to see a hell of a lot more in terms of people attending B2B shows than ever before.
Okay. So if you're working across lots of different industries and lots of different sort of sizes of businesses, I guess then there's a lot of commonality and common features in sales and marketing that can sort of cross-reference.
Yes. I think the basics is having a CRM. Having a CRM is very good, not just for your management of all your clients and everything but actually having a sales process. A lot of businesses don't have these processes in place. I won't name who I work with, but it's various companies I work with different CRM software, and there's some that are very good, some are very technical, some are very simple. But a lot of people buy these CRMs and never use them. They just sit there and do nothing with them. They're very powerful tools, and if you come to sell your business in the future, you've got a lot of value in that CRM. And again, it's a lot of businesses that see that as such a powerful tool to have. So from a sales process, the CRM is the most basic tool to have in your arsenal, and utilizing it and knowing your follow-ups and how to and progressing them through the sales process.
And then do you help people sort of target their sales at their ideal customers rather than just chucking a general message out there?
Yeah. You can't just do a scattergun approach. Like back in the day, I'll buy data from a data house, get 10,000 email addresses and just send an email saying, "Hi, I'm Gavin from Momentum. Would you like sales and marketing services?" It doesn't work like that. You've got to enrich them. You've got to kind of, have conversations. This I mean, this day and age, you don't see much coming through the post. Send a letter to someone. That is a different approach.
Email.
Well, it is, yeah. But it's if you've gone to the effort of finding someone on LinkedIn, maybe, and you know their name, their contact, and you want to have a conversation with them, well, send them a letter, because it's a different approach, and follow it up with a phone call. There is various ways of targeting different audiences, but if you target a specific, it can be quite rewarding.
A good line I like is that if you market to everyone, you market to nobody.
Yes.
And that you need to target it at sort of your ideal demographic.
And you're already chasing. You're chasing. I'd rather target 10 quality people and have one lead out of it than chase 1,000 and only get one out of it, because your efforts are so much more targeted and the reward is so much higher. It really is. It does work in a much better environment by having just the one, or just targeted. I don't say one, targeted.
Yeah. So you mentioned when you were talking there, you're an ambassador for Hashtag Events.
Yes.
What's Hashtag Events?
Hashtag Events is a national B2B company who do events all over the country. Everything from Aberdeen down to London, over to Belfast. I've been an ambassador for them for the last, I think, 2.5 years. It was a chance meet, and I think I was an exhibitor at one of the events, or even a visitor. Could have been an exhibitor. And Andrew Charlton, who owns the company, asked me to come along and be an ambassador for him. And because he knows I'm passionate about being offline, about being face-to-face, it just works hand in hand with myself being a sponsor now of the events and just being there. And the amount of people you see and the amount of different businesses you see now it's great. It's just so diverse in that. And I'm very fortunate to go across like 24 events across the year up and down the country and meeting all.
Is this something that Wrexham businesses could get involved in?
So I bought the Wrexham Business Show with Hashtag Events early in the year, in March. We're at the Wrexham University and we're doing it again next year. So we haven't finalised the dates yet, but it was a great success.
Pencil me in. I
will pencil you in. We had a great relationship with Wrexham University. They were fantastic. They really looked after us. It was a great day. We had a good footfall. All the feedback was very, very positive. And we're just in sorting the date site for next year now. So yeah, that is the local one here. There used to be one in Chester, but that one's been dropped because we're going to focus more on the Wrexham one because, well, he won't want to focus on Wrexham. Exactly, yeah.
It's where it happens.
Exactly, it's where it's all happening, isn't it?
So thinking about your industry of sales and marketing, in times of sort of difficulty and economic trouble, is that something that some businesses would not put their effort into and not want to fund? Is that a risk?
I think marketing in general is something that always gets dropped. It's the first thing that gets dropped. So if you're an agency, one of the first things that drops is that. Sales doesn't. Sales has to always stay there. So by combining the two, you're not slacking on one. You're going to keep the other one. You need them both. You need the fuel, you need the engine, and you can see that coming in, but I like a lot more business now. These are more savvy about not pulling back, because we saw in COVID where everyone just dropped back and then all of a sudden thinking, my competition is still doing what they're doing. There's ways and means of doing stuff. And it doesn't have to be an expensive chore. If you're doing it right, doing it in a structured manner, it will work. If you're doing a 12-month strategy, it never works. You got to review it every 3 months. So having a 6-month plan in terms of a 12-month plan is much better, and then review it every 3 months is a much more effective way of doing it. But involving the whole team, not just you and your marketeer, you and your salespeople, it's bringing everyone together.
And I guess if if lots of people in the industry are cutting back on their marketing spend, it is an opportunity for someone to really push home and
It is.
be hungry when others are being fearful.
It is, yeah. But, again, you can make cutbacks, you make cost cutbacks, but fundamentally, if you're an individual doesn't have that within your team, you need to be the influencer of your business and get yourself out there. Business isn't going to come to you. The internet's a very, very busy place. Digital online marketing is very, very hard in this day and age to make the right amount of noise and without spending an absolute arm and a leg. So combining offline with online works much, much better.
You're quite big in your LinkedIn space, aren't you? You've got quite a big footprint there. Is that a tool that is helping sales and marketing for you?
Yeah, it's a very powerful tool. It works very well in me giving my voice, but also sharing knowledge, my blogs and everything else that I talk about. And it just brings that spotlight onto yourself. And as I always preach about being an influencer of your own brand. So I'm doing what I'm saying I'm going to do. But I do use it as a very good tool as your professional outlet. And as you know yourself, you use it yourself on a regular basis, and you see a growth from that on a regular basis, and it's not necessarily to win business on every post that you do, but as long as your audience are seeing who you are and what you do, and when you actually have that face-to-face meeting, you're not meeting them for the first time, you actually kind of know each other.
Yeah, we use it in two ways. We've got a business page that puts out information, and I've got a sort of a personal profile, and I write my own thoughts separate to the business.
Which is how it should be. The business profile is where your team can see all that information, and each member of your team can put their own spin on what their take of that information on the business page. And that works very, very well on LinkedIn. It's when you put outsourced links in, it doesn't like it. It likes to keep everything within LinkedIn. And, when you leave the platform, it's like, well, I don't like you anymore, I'll put you down sort of thing. But algorithms and, are something to be desired, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't understand the LinkedIn algorithms.
I don't think LinkedIn even understand the LinkedIn algorithms.
So back to Momentum. What's your plans for Momentum? Where's it going to go?
Momentum is gaining momentum, I should say. Really, we launched.
It's just as well, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So I launched 2 years ago. I was supposed to launch on the 1st of April, but I thought I'll waive it for a couple of days just so I don't have the April Fools in me. We're growing at a very, very exponential rate, to the point of I'm taking on more and more resource to fulfill with my clients. The growth pattern, it seems very positive in terms of what businesses are looking for and how we approach ourselves. We've got more packages coming together. We've got more partners that we've combined with, and our clients do get a lot of bang for their buck. And I don't have time for the fluff. If you notice, I didn't swear then. I don't have time for the fluff. It's all about spend wisely, put the money in the right place, see the returns, move on, and then get the best out of it.
What sort of metrics are people sort of monitoring that from?
Engagement and it's bottom line. It's straight bottom line. It's the growth comes from what everyone can look at our analytics and go, well, this done this and pull through that. And again, they are good insights, but if you're seeing more impressions, more engagement lead to more inquiries lead to more sales. Those basic 4 metrics of what we follow, and that's what my clients follow as well. And that's what we look at and go, right, this is where we are, this is where we're growing. We go into a lot more depth into the business and to get those numbers. But fundamentally, if we're seeing that growth pattern, everything works. And it's keeping it simple.
Do you plan to sort of expand the team, or?
No, I want to keep it quite niche. I've got a limit on how many clients I want to have at any one time, because it takes a lot of my personal time to be with each and every one of them. Everyone is unique in their own way. So there isn't a one size fits all. So, I operate mainly as a fractional commercial director for each of my clients. So I'm a part of their team. I'm not working for them, I'm working with them. And because we work together in such a pattern, they're not expecting me to do everything for them. We do everything together within the team.
Does that mean you're almost a bit choosy about who you'll get to work with?
Yeah. I do pick and choose who I work with, not through arrogance, just because I want to deliver the best for them. And it's better to use what your knowledge is than just kind of like, yeah, I'll have a go on that sort of thing. There isn't many sectors I haven't worked in, but there are certain sectors that I can really focus on that really work really well. Like, you know, the professional services side of it, they are unbelievably talented at what they do. But when it comes to growth, it's not a case about buying a business to grow your business. It's about how do you grow as an overhaul. And you know, businesses who are looking to sell in the future, they're good ones to work with as well, because the plan isn't about what you can do now. If you're selling your business in 5 years' time, what's the strategy in those 5 years? And support them with that growth to get added value, like your CRMs and everything else, the added value to their business. And when they put it on the market, it has.
We have clients sometimes look at an exit plan, and I always say you need to position your business, but it's easy for someone to take it over. No one wants to buy your job.
Yeah, and they don't want to be in it for 12 months. You know, when they're going to sit in there for 12 months and be a part of it, they want to be sat on their beach in Barbados and drinking.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It'd be very nice, especially weather like today.
This episode of the Wrexham Business Spotlight podcast is kindly sponsored by AB Accountancy, a leading local firm with offices in both Wrexham and Llangollen, passionate about supporting you and your business with their finances and tax. If you want to get in touch with AB Accountancy, there's a link to their website in this episode description. So what are the challenges you face or the industry faces?
I think it's the uncertainty of AI. I think AI has come in and it's been an unbelievable tool if it's used right. If you use it as an assistant, if it uses it as a body within your business, it's amazing. But there's so much out there which is so AI-led. You can't believe what you see. And I think that's where we're seeing the increase of people coming to events, live events, because they see that trust element. And, you know, there's that know, like, and trust, which is seen. That is a big hurdle at the minute. You know, AI is very, very clever. It's unbelievable. You know, I use it myself as someone to talk to, as an assistant, to throw back ideas or to do information finding. But to use that as a sole mechanism for your sales process, it's not looking good in that sense.
Are you aware of any businesses solely using ChatGPT to write all their media? And
you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. I think if you use it yourself, you can see, you know, the signs of when people use it. I mean, don't get me wrong, use it, but make it humanized. You know, you can see word and you think that's just no one talks like that, do they? Sort of thing. You know, especially when there's a few Z's and not enough U's, and then you go, yeah, well, you've just copied and pasted that from ChatGPT.
It seems to like a little hash line as well, doesn't it?
Hash lines, extra spaces, way too many emojis on something, and you just think, well, you know, it's a tool to get as a guide. Use it as a guide, then put your own stamp on it, and it will work much better for you.
So using it exclusively is a bit of a turn off, isn't it? If you
you're not thinking. I don't think you're thinking yourself. You know, if you're just going to say, right, ChatGPT, write me 10 posts on so and so, and you put it in, you haven't thought about that. You haven't put any kind of effort into it, and I think that's what people are seeing. That there's no effort, there's no kind of human process in there. And like I say, use it as a guide, use it as a template, but put the humanized spin on it.
Agree. Right, let's get on to. We've had a nice little prop sat in front of us. People are probably wondering what this is. So this is a book called The Glue: Why Sales and Marketing Must Stick Together by Gavin Belton-Rose.
It is me, yes.
Published author, Gavin.
Well, I don't know about that, but you know, it's a self-publication which I released in May, and it was. I think it was kind of. It's not a guide. It's kind of what I've experienced, what I've done for my clients, my background. Things that have worked, things that haven't worked. Actually, I've got 25 years of sales and marketing, and it's not. People think sales and marketing, well, it's just this linear kind of title, but actually, everyone's a salesperson, everyone's a marketeer. So, you know, from the age of 13 years old, when I was stacking shelves and doing my paper round, I was watching people, I was learning from them, and I've always been that sponge of learning from other people, and that's how I've become a better salesperson, because I listen.
So I do believe you've sold this far and wide, as far as the other side of the globe. You've had copies flying off the shelves.
I had a sale in Australia, and I was kind of gobsmacked. I was like, right, how did that come about? Anyway, as it was, they reached out to me on LinkedIn saying, I've read your book, can we have a chat? And I was blown away by it. You know, it was that's the power of LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You know, I told a few
Did
people.
they find it on LinkedIn or did they find it on Amazon?
They saw my post on LinkedIn, were
Okay.
intrigued by it. And again, as we were talking about LinkedIn earlier, they saw it, they were intrigued, and then they bought it out there. So it's like, I don't think I get any further than that. And Fiji or New Zealand, I don't know. But I was quite shocked when I went onto my profile. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I mean, I haven't sold a lot of books yet. You know, it's very early days, but I haven't really pushed it in terms of publications. I tend to give more away when I'm out to events, but it's a tool that I like people to have, which is all of me in a few pages. It's quite scary to say that, but you know, there's no pictures in there, so don't worry. It's how I've approached sales, and with the marketing background, you know, and being an influencer of your own business. It really is, you know, powerful that people buy from people at the end of the day, and I'm quite fortunate. I've met some fantastic people along the way who I've learnt off, and I carry that on with my sales approach.
And I think it probably adds a level of gravitas to you as an individual that you've wrote a book and you're a published author on.
Yeah, I don't think I set out, you know, start of the year to think I'm going to do this. You know, I had an idea. I had an idea for some paragraphs, some chapters, which I kind of started writing. And I was on the ferry coming back from Dublin and started typing away, and I really enjoyed it.
And there's loads of Zs and not enough U's, I noticed as well.
Yeah.
All ChatGPT,
Lots,
is it?
Lot fired, all fired through. No, it has been humanized.
Okay.
There is some software there that I have used to help me with it, but it is very much me in there, you know, and I did not swear as much as I normally would do in it, so you know, I kept it clean. Yeah. There's lots of fluffs in there, you'd see.
So if someone wants to buy this book,
it's on Amazon.
It's on
paperback and on Kindle.
Okay.
There's a link through my website, which I'm sure there'll be a link within here somewhere, and you can buy it through there.
Yeah, and if somebody does want a signed copy like I've got, is that available? Are you available for sign-ins?
Yours is very special. Yeah, I swear.
It's devalued my copy.
Well, we'll see. We'll see this time next year, Rodney. Yeah, no, I can send signed copies out.
Yeah,
you have to get them through me direct, but or you see me at an event and I'll give you one.
Yeah, or meet you in Starbucks on a Friday.
Starbucks on a Friday tends to be one of my favourite places. You know,
there we go.
There are other obviously coffee houses.
Right, Gavin, as a sales and marketing expert and a published author, someone's listened to this, they want to start a business in Wrexham, and I think, go and have a chat with Gavin, see what he says. What's the one piece of advice you would give them?
I think the best piece of advice is be yourself. Don't try and follow trends. Don't try and follow anyone else's patterns. Do your own thing. There's too many trends on TikTok and Instagram that people feel I have to follow these. Don't, because you're just being sucked into something else. You're not being yourself. Do your own thing. Have your plan and stick to it, because you're selling you're doing what you do best. You know, seeing other people out there, you know, you are the influencer of your own brand. You know exactly what your product is. You know exactly what your service is. Go out there and sell it, and be face to face. Go out and see people.
I'd agree with that. I'm friends with some other accountants. I'm connected on LinkedIn. And sometimes I see a post they've done, I think, oh, it's a really good post. It's really clever. But I know that wouldn't work if I was posting it, because that's not my sort of style and my personality.
And it's putting your personal stamp on anything. You know, you can use the internet, use the social media for ideas, but put your own stamp on whatever you see and just be authentic.
Yeah. So aside from shifting 1 million copies of a book, what does success look like for you?
1 million copies of the book. I think my family would be very happy if I did 1 million copies of the book. I don't think my royalties from Amazon would be that high, but it'll be good. I think for myself, I want to retire at 50. You know, I'm 5 years off that. That would be very nice. I know I don't look 50 years old, but 45 years old. But I think to be able to retire, maybe one of my kids take over my business. I don't know what that looks like yet, because they're still quite young. But I think to retire at 50 and, you know, enjoy time with my wife, who's very busy as a nurse, so it'd be nice to spend a bit more time together.
So T-5 years, you better get going. That's not long, is it, in business?
It's not, but it's a target. You know, I have genuinely set a plan. I've got a target. I've got things in motion that'll get me there. Don't get me wrong. If I retire, I won't stop working, because, you know, I couldn't do that. I think I'd drive my wife mad. But to have the means to stop and retire. I mean, I don't know what that number in the equations look like, but I actually would like to be, more part-time.
Think of all them gym games. You'd be in there every day.
I would do, yeah.
You'd be able to lift as much as me then.
I'd see as much as you, yeah.
Right, and just finally, the Wrexham Business Spotlight has been on you for this episode, and we'd like you to share that love and put it back onto another local business. Is there anyone you want to share that praise with?
I have a soft spot for Seventh Heaven Beds.
Right, we're familiar with Seventh Heaven.
Tony and Tracy have an absolutely beautiful business over in Chirk. I don't think Wrexham knows enough about them. If you're interested in what they do and how they do it, obviously go and have a look at their website. But they are bed specialists. They are unbelievable what they have, and their property where they are in Choke Mill is fantastic. They also do some spooky stuff, so go and check that out as well.
Yeah, I've got sort of paranormal side.
Paranormal stuff, yeah. It's actually quite interesting. I'm hoping to get an invite one day, Tony,
which is based on where they're based, isn't it?
Yeah. In the building, yeah.
Itself.
Yeah, well, the business is over 50 years old, and they've got unbelievable heritage. But the Chirk Mill that they're in is a beautiful building. It really is fantastic.
Okay. So that's Seventh Heaven in Chirk, Tony and Tracy Butler.
Yeah.
Right, Gav, thanks so much for doing this. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Wrexham Business Spotlight podcast. Please like and hit the share button, and please leave us your comments and thoughts on any of our social media pages. See you at the next one.
No matter how high you fly, no matter how far you go,